We live in a culture, as you can tell from today's shows, so utterly debauched that public schools, rather than fight, try to raise kids above this corrupt culture, they are drowning our kids in it. You know what we need? I'm going to set the moms aside. Moms, I get it. You should be really angry about what you've seen, but I'm calling out you dads. Dads, what happened to dads who would end this? What happened to the dads who were the stand-up dads who would not allow their children, particularly their young daughters, to hear this kind of garbage in school? Where are you, fathers? Have you been so emasculated by the hashtag #MeToo movement? Have you become such eunuchs that you'll allow your kids to be used for these purposes? What happened? Toxic masculinity. I'd kill for a little toxic masculinity. How about limp-wristed, Viagra-needing, completely clueless kind of masculinity? How about that? Maybe that's what we're dealing with now. What this culture needs is men to stand up. And so to that end, the entire week on the Instant Classic is going to be devoted to a man who did stand up, a man by the name of St. Thomas More. The story was written about him by Robert Bolt, the playwright. A Man for All Seasons is the name of the story, a historical story. It was written in 1960. In 1966, it became literally became the #1 Best Picture, won the Oscar, starring Paul Scofield as Thomas More. Thomas More, you may recall, was under pressure from Henry VIII. He was a solid Catholic. He did not want to give up his faith. He did not believe that Henry VIII had the moral authority to deem himself head of the English church simply because he wanted a divorce. And Henry, who actually liked Thomas, they got along great up until this moment, up until the crisis of the divorce. We watched slowly in the play how More is surrounded and surrounded and surrounded, not allowed to follow his conscience and to resist this, and how it ultimately cost him his life. Here's a great quote from the book, Men Who Stand Up, week on the Dr. Duke Show with Robert Bolt and the Man for All Seasons. Well, St. Thomas More, his young son-in-law was a man of great radical conviction. He did not like the corruption in the Catholic Church. There was very little to like about it. But at one point, William Roper his name is William Roper, he had this conversation with his father. William Roper said, "So now, More, you would give the devil the benefit of the law. Would you go, don't forget, Thomas More was the Chancellor of England, the chief law officer of England at the time, and his son-in-law said to him, "So now, More, would you give the devil the benefit of the law?" And Sir Thomas More replied, "Yes, yes, what would you do? Cut a great road through the law to get after the devil?" Roper said, "Yes, I would cut down every law in England if that was what it took to get after the devil, to remove the devil." Sir Thomas responded brilliantly. "This is amazing." "Oh," he said. "And when the last law was down, Roper, and the devil turned round upon you, then where would you hide, Roper? The laws all being flat. This country is planted thick with laws from coast to coast. Man's laws, not God's. And if you cut them down, and you're just the man to do it, do you really think you could stand upright in the winds that would blow then? Yes, I'd give the devil benefit of law for my own safety's sake." Law, right? You think about the Constitution that the Founding Fathers gave us. Our rights are ensconced in law. We are a nation of laws, not a nation of rulers. We are a nation who recognizes that our rights and responsibilities come from the Creator. They don't come from men. Don't be like C.S. Lewis, men without chest. It's time for American fathers to stand up and stop this nonsense right now.